Hey guys, what's up? Just a little disclaimer for the episode. We're very tired, and if you're coming here for a detailed review of an album, it's very tangent filled. It's
Yes, we do normally go on tangents in these album of the month episodes just for fun. That's what we do.
yeah,
This time, as we've just finished the recording of the episode, it's just past midnight as we're recording the intro now, and we went all over the place. Like we mentioned at the end of the episode, sleep deprivation is almost like a drug.
yeah.
So we're
I mean, it's
just
not almost like it is like a drug.
it's like a drug. Yeah, we're
Yeah.
we're we're high right now. That's what's up. So that's what's in store for you. We do have some intelligent musical discussion, especially in the first half of the episode. But
Yeah.
aside from that, there's
We
a
drift off into interesting topics such as gender identity and the Matrix and
yeah. How
Lord
the
of the
heck? How did
Rings
we get there? Honestly, but we had a
through the
lot of fun.
Matrix, through the
We had a
Matrix.
we had a lot of fun though, and we're hoping that you have some fun with us
Yeah,
as well. So
yeah.
just see how you like it, and we'll see you on the next episode if you hate this one.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to a very tired edition of the Hewkii Flammeus show.
Very tired. I had a little shouting match with a family member today, a little family drama happening over here. We were just talking about this. Like, who was it that said this? Ramdas or something? If you think you're enlightened, go spend a week with your family.
Yeah.
That's
And then it came up on our last episode also, and you just said, I'm about to. So,
and now, yes, this is exactly where it went.
the test of your enlightenment.
The ultimate test. And honestly, I think I did the right thing. I screamed, and it's very appropriate that we're talking about Symphony X Paradise Lost today because I sounded very much like a heavy metal singer earlier today as I was
Yeah,
as I was screaming out my feelings.
that's great. Yeah, it definitely has its place. I mean, this is why metal is a thing because uh like shouting is something that's kind of not generally considered an appropriate mode of expression. So it's like people need an outlet to kind of, you know, channel those emotions in a healthy way.
Yeah, I really felt it for one of the first times in my life. I felt it right now. I think I've never really gotten into metal very much because I've had a very comfortable life by most, 99% of humanity's standards probably. I've been very lucky with the circumstances I was born into, the family I was raised in. So I guess I've never really needed to get all that anger out. I haven't had very much messed up stuff happen to me, you know. Um, but just after this screaming, we were going to record the episode a lot earlier today. It's 11 p.m. now. But just then the argument broke out. Um, and after it, I went on a walk, just like, oh shit, I gotta listen to the album before we do the episode. I did listen to it for once a couple weeks ago, but I was like, God, I don't remember anything. How does this go again? So I went for a walk in the darkness here just before with the listening to the album, and it was so perfect for the vibe I was in
Okay.
after the screaming. I could really feel just the
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, that was the
Yeah.
mood today.
And it's also, I think it's sometimes it's a misconception that metal is about anger. I think it's a lot of it is about like power and energy. And
Mm.
Symphony X's subgenre of metal is a part of it is power metal. I don't know if you're familiar with
I'm not. I'm
power
in
metal.
for some schooling today, I think.
Okay, like Symphony X, they're not exactly traditional power metal. They're kind of a hybrid between power metal and progressive metal, and they kind of do their own thing. But power metal, it's are you familiar with Dragon Force, Through the Fire and Flames?
Of course.
Yeah, that would be kind of the quintessential power metal song. It's like taking what Iron Maiden is doing and putting it on steroids and human growth hormone. And it's like it at a certain point it almost becomes like a parody of itself. It's like
It's so extreme.
it's
It's
over the top that it's like it's almost comical, but it's
is it
fun.
so wait, you were saying that is that except on steroids is power metal.
Yeah, power metal is kind of like Iron Maiden for me on steroids.
Mm.
But
Oh yeah. Okay.
yeah,
Gotcha.
putting Dragon Force on, I don't know what happens if you put that one on steroids.
Yeah.
It would go through.
So wait, okay, is it about the excessive shredding? Is that what makes it power?
I think
Or is
that's a
it
part of it. There's a certain beat, like a gallop, very fast gallop beat.
right?
That's
That
a
is
part of it.
fucking impossible to play for a long time, man. You
Yeah,
gotta play with three. If you're a bassist and you're trying to go dung 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 dung, it's like you
yeah,
gotta incorporate the ring finger as well.
yeah.
So hard. Otherwise, you're always alternating like gung 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 gung. It's always
Right.
index finger first, then middle finger first, then index finger first. It's so hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a technically advanced genre to play, and it's also one part of it is the kind of the soaring vocals. And I think Symphony X kind of their vocals are not typical power metal, not exactly typical power metal vocals from what I've heard. But usually the power metal vocals are more super high pitched, absolute,
Yeah.
you know, soaring. But yeah, Paradise Lost. It's are you familiar at all with Paradise Lost, or like does that
Oh, is
name?
that like a concept or something?
Yes.
Okay, no. Educate
Okay.
me.
So it's a very famous poem or book by Milton. Was it John Milton? I know his last name is Milton.
Is
It's
that one? Does it have all these biblical references like the album does with Babylon
yes.
and stuff?
Yeah, yeah,
Is that okay?
exactly. It's about Satan um rebelling against God. Kind of a famous line from Satan in the book is like it's better to reign in hell than to serve in heaven. So it's a book about like Satan rebelling against God and kind of
That's
this
r- it's in-
civil war in heaven.
incredibly metal.
Yeah, and I think most of this album is kind of written from the perspective of Satan.
Ah.
I'm the master of illusion, minister of sin, two-faced
Ah.
snake with its shedding skin. And and
And then
and I
there's
think
that line about ravishing the Babylon whore.
yeah, I think that's a part of, just the hordes of Satan,
Mhm. Oh,
waging
yeah.
war.
Is it a whore or is it a horde?
The horde is they are ravaging the Babylon whore.
I thought,
That's
oh,
that's how
ravaging.
that's or
We're, we're, go
ravishing. I don't know.
we're
That's
Googling this. Is it
yeah.
ravishing a whore or is it ravaging a horde? Uh,
No, I think it's a whore for sure.
okay. That would be way more metal.
Yeah,
Uh, what was
I think
that
the song
song
is
called actually?
Domination. It's Domination.
Domination, right.
Yeah, I think that's Satan and his horde of demons just like waging war, just going all in.
Legions lost in pain.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah,
Ray, my domination and ravage. It's ravage the Babylon whore.
yeah,
That's what it says. Okay, I see.
yeah. So it's and a lot of those lines are there. I tried actually, for some reason, maybe the algorithm, because they noticed I was listening to this album. I got a recommendation for a podcast was the Chris Hedges show. I don't know if you know Chris Hedges,
Mm-mm.
but he had a guest on who was writing about Paradise Lost and kind of the historical significance of this poem because it was very influential and it's like it was very it inspired a lot of actual revolutions because it came
Mm.
out in the 17th century, and like they said the some of the revolutions in the English Revolution of the 17th century, they fought the battles with Milton's book in one hand and weapons in the other. Um,
Mm.
and other people like Malcolm X have kind of cited his books as inspiration. It's a very interesting podcast. I recommend if anybody's interested in Paradise Lost and kind of the historical significance of that that book.
Was it like rebellions against the yoke of the church?
I think it was against the monarchy in England.
Which is kind of, yeah, because they get their power from God
Yeah,
officially.
yeah.
Mhm.
And the Milton, I think he was very involved in kind of this civil war struggle. So I think a lot of the book is kind of informed by his reality. And Satan in the book, he's depicted kind of subtly as the protagonist.
Mm.
He is the cool character in the book. And
Yeah, yeah.
I think he comes like as the snake and corrupts Eve, seduces her. So you have the song and album Eve of Seduction, and you have the song The Serpent's Kiss. I think that's kind of Satan appearing as the snake and corrupting humanity. So,
Mm.
and I had never really kind of reflected, and this is very typical of Symphony X because they take these themes from classic literature, and they did the Odyssey. They did a 24-minute song just going through the entire storyline of the Odyssey. Um,
Oh,
so
like the Greek myth.
yeah, so they take
Okay.
mythology and they like in a very deep way, flesh the story out. It's not kind of a surface level. Uh,
That's really cool. That's really like Skullmelt
oh
does
yeah,
with Norse mythology. I was
yeah,
listening because the music sounds quite similar. It's like this symphonic metal as
yeah,
well. It's a similar style.
hmm
So that's an interesting parallel. Interesting
yeah,
that both of these bands will be making not only representations of mythology fleshed out, but also expressing that in symphonic metal as well.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if Skullmelt, if some of the guitar players were into Symphony X, they're very big among guitar players because
Yeah.
Michael Romeo, the guitar player of Symphony X, he's just, I think, in my opinion, I think he's the best metal guitar player out there. At least that's my
Really?
personal favorite. Yeah,
That's
I
a
think
that's
he's,
a big statement.
yeah, and I stand by it. Guthrie Govan is my favorite guitar player, like across the board. But when it comes to specifically to metal, Michael Romeo, I think he's a fantastic player and he's a fantastic musician. And I think he does, if I'm not mistaken, he does all the kind of orchestration and stuff. He's
Mm.
kind of a lot of the brain behind the band, and he's just also a fantastic player, technically fantastic songwriter. Um, makes
Yeah, I did like the songwriting on the album. I
Mhm.
like the little borrowed chords and the
Mhm.
modulations and the odd meter. Really cool. So
Yeah,
yeah.
so they're kind of uh, classified as a neoclassical band in many ways,
Mm.
and they had many albums before this one, which are just masterpieces in my book, but the production is not. It's a little bit of a product of its time.
Mm. Oh,
Um,
what you mean on this album?
no, the prior albums that preceded this one,
Right.
and I think those albums are fantastic, and the songwriting is so strong that I think they still have stood the test of time. But the production, like this is the album where the production really started to kind of kick into gear.
Mm.
So you have kind of two.
And not crumble like Babylon.
Yes,
I'm just
exactly.
kidding. Kidding, I'm sorry.
But you have kind of the two phases of Symphony X. You have the early Symphony X, which is very kind of Baroque infused, and then later Symphony X is more. I think he described it as more late romantic and film score inspired. So like inspired by the Star Wars film score and probably Hans Zimmer and stuff like this. And I think this album kind of sits right in the center between. So it's got some of the leftovers from the more Baroque, neoclassical era of the band, and but it's like starting to incorporate more and more heavy heavy riffs and thick, compact songwriting. It's progressive, but it's not as proggy as their like earlier stuff. I think it's quite accessible. Like,
What do
um,
you mean less proggy? Because it is quite proggy.
I
Like
mean,
it's
maybe I'm operating by a different set of standards.
because
I
I
think this,
mean at least okay in my brain prog is odd meters and like it's that kind of thing.
I mean, that's
Um,
part of it, but it's also like the whole arrangement of the music and
mhm.
experimentation and stuff like this.
So,
And
so in what way were they more proggy before this
they would
album?
go a little bit more all over the place. They would do
Ah,
more out there sometimes ideas, and I think on this album it's more compact. It's more the songs are a little bit more catchy generally, or kind of yeah, I'd say more compact. Um they're they stay together somehow
mm,
in a way they're not deviating too much in these million different directions, which is very common.
right. A little more cohesive.
Yeah, more cohesive. Yeah, if you compare it to we reviewed Deep Dream Theater, I think they have even more of a tendency to just throw. I mean, Symphony X does this too on their long songs, but like I would say Dream Theater even more goes into like a
The
million different
silly
genres.
direction even sometimes. It's like
Yeah,
here's a little clown sound for 3 seconds and then back to
yeah.
the
Symphony X. Yeah, this is the funny thing. Like I often say that prog music tends to suffer from a lack of humor sometimes.
Mhm.
And I would say that with Symphony X, there's like, to me, there's no humor in the music,
No, it's
but
incredibly serious.
but I don't think it suffers for it.
No, me neither.
And I
Uh,
think the stuff that they're doing, I think you need just, if they would do it with even just 5% less conviction, I think it could be something that sounds incredibly lame. You know what I
yeah.
mean? But I think
Yes.
you need to do it with a 110% conviction and believing in what you're saying, because when you're covering these serious themes of this kind of classic mythology and all that stuff, which is kind of common in power metal, dragons and knights and demons and
Mhm.
stuff like this. I think you gotta go all in.
Yeah. You gotta represent. You
Yeah,
gotta be that just that absolute extreme of the spectrum.
yeah.
Just like,
And Satan, he's not fucking about.
oh.
Satan's not like he's he's going
He's
all in.
he's evil.
He is evil.
And he likes it. He likes being evil.
He is.
Ow, I with darkest insurrection victimize. Hail the horrors, all hail and sanctify my domination.
Yeah, he's not fucking around.
No, he's not
And
fucking around.
and I actually tried to because I just got curious about Paradise Lost, the book. So
Mm.
I found it on Audible, and I was just trying to get into it, trying to listen to it. It's very hard because
Yeah, I mean, it's like 17th century.
yeah, it's old English. It's very hard to follow. Maybe it's easier to read, but I would hear these little like snippets of sentences in there, like, "Hey, whoa, hey, that's from the Symphony X song."
Ah, so they. Oh yeah, Milton got that from Symphony X. We got-
he, he was listening to Symphony X.
Ah, nice. Yeah, he knew what's up.
Yeah,
Mm.
but it's a very metal, you know,
Also, it's like
theme.
a poem.
It is a poem.
Paradise Lost. It's just like the old, just like Völuspá or something from like
Yeah,
Norse mythology, like a long epic poem, or the Odyssey,
yeah,
indeed.
mm,
Um, Arranged into 12 books. God damn, that's a long poem.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. When you say
they,
poem, I think people sometimes get the wrong impression. So I tend to say
yeah,
book because it's like today we know poem more so as just like a couple lines.
yeah. They weren't fucking around with the poems back then.
No, they
They, they told the whole story of the beginning and the end of time in
yeah,
one poem.
yeah. That's exactly what they did. But yeah, I think they kind of masterfully kind of captured the theme of Paradise Lost, just lyrically and musically, and just the epicness and the apocalyptic nature of uh, of the story. I think it very much captures the epicness.
Does it end with does it end with Satan winning?
I don't know actually, because I tried to. I was gonna see if I could finish the whole book. I gave up because the English was so old that I couldn't follow the story.
It was so old, spelled OLDE.
Exactly. It was. I think in writing, I may have been able to like wait, what? But just the way sentences are structured, like it's not made for us.
Yeah.
I needed to like sit for a while with each sentence to know what's being conveyed.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah,
I'm curious.
so they've modernized this. Hmm.
I'm curious if there are any songs on there that kind of that you resonated with more so than the others
Yeah, I like the bass intro
of Domination.
on yeah, it's Domination. I really like that song
It's
in general. So
I think the album. I used to think that the album started out with just so strong and then kind of tapered off just ever so slightly.
mm,
Um, but then I also just realized it's a hard one to get through in one sitting because it's so
yeah,
heavy and it's so full on that my ears would get tired.
it's incredibly heavy.
So I was
It's
not able to soak in. Um, so if I would start midway, I would like the last songs much
hmm.
more. But it was
I see. Yeah,
yeah.
just kind of
So I would
lost.
get fatigued.
I like the way Paradise Lost, that's the fifth song in the album. I like the way that one comes in with the sweet little piano intro.
Hmm.
Just like I talked about on that one Dream Theater album that we covered here.
Yeah,
Um, what was that album again?
images and words.
Images and Words, right? But I mean, it comes like four songs in. You've
Yeah,
already been exposed to like what, 17, 18 minutes of just non-stop.
yeah.
And
It's yeah, they have two ballads on there, and even those are they have their heavy moments.
yeah, and even the ballad is fucking prog as hell. Paradise Lost. I think it's a 6 6 6 7. It's like a
Yeah, so it's 25, 25, 8. And I
yeah.
think like what's so masterful about that song is that they have this very kind of it's very easy for a musician when they're playing in an odd time to for
Hmm.
it to become kind of jagged or kind of because for example you may be playing a line in seven and you end the line and just start on the one always so it kind of feels
Hmm.
like you're um, how do I describe this? You're just fitting it into that one bar, whatever you're
Hmm.
playing, because it's so easy to get lost. But I think the way they kind of flow through in that song Paradise Lost, I think just the way they flow through that odd time in a way that doesn't feel even like you don't notice so much the odd time because it's so fluid. I think
Hmm.
that's a real mark of just a masterful progressive
Yeah.
vision is that it's so natural that you don't even notice that they're playing an odd time because
It's
it
like
feels like they're just playing in four with it's the same level of ease.
yes, it's a this is a concept I talk about a lot when I love to make content about this on my Instagram page actually when I was covering what makes good songwriting good is the balance between complexity and simplicity. And this is um this is um one manifestation of that having like an odd having some kind of really complicated musical concept that doesn't sound as complicated as it actually is. You don't clock that it's like Blackbird. It's in seven. Did you know?
Yeah, no,
Did you? It's
I
like
think
wild.
it's a very much a similar vibe happening because it's like the fluidity is there. I think like what trips people up about odd times is not necessarily the odd time. It's that it's a lack of fluidity
Hmm.
sometimes when people are playing odd times.
Yeah, like the line doesn't make sense in odd meter, but you gotta write a line that actually makes sense in the odd meter, like
Yeah, and
Blackbird
yeah,
going ba-dum 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 bam ba-dum ba-dum bam ba-dum 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 da-dum did bam ba-dum ba-dum da-ga-dum ga-dum
right,
du-du-du-du-du-gu-gu-du-gu-du-du.
right,
It's a three
yeah,
and a four. You don't notice. They slip it right past you because it
yeah,
makes sense.
totally. And it wouldn't be the same if you were to equal it out to an eight. And I think it's the same like with Paradise Lost if it was 6 6 6 6 instead of 6 6 6 7. Something
Mhm.
about in the song would be lost. There's a
Totally,
yeah,
totally. And he
yeah,
sings very fluidly on top of it, if I
yeah,
remember.
yeah,
It's
very
not.
much so. Yeah. So I think they're very much masters of this kind of stuff. And even the solo, like he does a very um complex and technically proficient solo, but it just flows just through the entire thing. You don't.
Oh, the solos in the odd meter as well. See, I didn't even
Yeah.
notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Wild.
Yeah. And yeah, funny note about that song, Paradise Lost. I think so in that episode I was listening to on the Chris Hedges report, I think it's the name of the podcast. I think they covered that there was a part in Paradise Lost where Satan is kind of melted by by Eve, like by her beauty and such. You
Mhm.
know, kind of that even Satan himself cannot hold himself in the face of female beauty. So I think like there's a line in the song, how does it go? Does the hunter pity his prey? And
Mm.
I think there's he's coming there to seduce Eve into darkness, but he's starting to feel some compassion
Oh,
or
he's like, yeah, it's like he's like, I can save him. I can, I can. The charmer.
yeah. Yeah, I think there's another line there. My yearning is silenced by angelic skin of white. You know, he's on his mission
Mm.
to corrupt all of reality, but you know,
But Eve is just so pure and innocent
yeah,
that even he, see, there is some good in him yet.
yeah.
The dark
He's
Darth
a
Vader paradigm.
he's a fallen angel after all. Yeah, it's very archetypal themes that you see
True.
very much across the board. Um, so yeah, that's a great song. Um, I do think the album could do with a few more softer moments.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah, for my taste, certainly.
but I mean, it is what it's meant to be. It's a heavy album, and I think that was the intention for the album was, because the earlier Symphony X albums, they're not as aggressive. They have their aggressive moments, but they're an inch closer to kind of classic prog. If you think of 70s prog, they're just
Mm.
an inch closer in that direction. Um, and a lot of that, the 70s prog, it has a lot of softness to it. It's not exactly metal. Um,
Mm.
and for this album, he wanted to kind of, because he grew up listening to Judas Priest, and he, talks about when he discovered, Painkiller when that came out, was just enamored and just blown away just by the raw power of the riffs. I think he was trying to capture some of that in this album. It's just like super riff centric and just thick, brutal, heavy riffs.
Yeah.
Uh,
Metal.
Metal. Yeah.
Metal.
Yeah, we say it very tired.
Evil. Yeah.
Metal. Yeah. Um,
uh,
so yeah, that's very much the theme of the album. It has a lot of balls, and it's the
mhm.
first of their albums which has like a really really good production. I think so. That's why it stands out.
Production's really good.
Yeah,
Hmm.
and I was gonna say something, but yes, yes. So
Yes.
did you notice any parallels with this and Dream Theater?
So okay. I'll say I thought the harmonic landscape of Dream Theater was quite a bit more colorful. That's
Yeah.
like the first thing I like chords. So I
Yeah.
noticed that. To me, uh, I mean the prog-ness
Yeah.
of it, the kind of the odd meter and the riff centricity.
Yeah.
Um, I think I think Dream Theater did a little bit more of the odd meter fluidity for me as well.
Yeah, this
Um,
is what I'm talking about. This is not actually Symphony X's most progressive record.
yeah,
It is
yeah.
more kind of.
So what are you getting at? What's the
No, no,
parallel?
I'm just curious because a lot of people, these were the bands that, for me, I was a huge Dream Theater fan growing up. It was my favorite band, and Symphony X was like the next band I could find that was doing something like on the same level for me.
Mhm.
And then I would go between like, oh, Symphony X is the fucking best band in the world. And then I would kind of get tired of what they're doing. Then I would toggle over to Dream Theater and kind of go back and forth. And I think they do, like, I think, for example, we talked about when we covered Dream Theater, like
Meanwhile, I was going in an octopus's garden in the
yeah, that came
shade
later for
with
me.
Ringo Starr.
Yeah, that came later for me. That took me like, 7 or 8 more years and some weed, to to get to that place.
Yeah.
In Icelandic, I've heard this term used, a progga yfir sig, like
Prog.
progging over yours, like you prog so much that like we just
You prog
seek for,
over yourself.
yeah, you just seek for simplicity at that point.
Yeah.
Um, and that happened to me. I went over to very just stupidly simple electronic music. Um, After kind of my main prog phase. But anyway, yeah, those were kind of my two favorite bands, and we we talked about when we were covering the Dream Theater album that there's just something ever so slightly kind of dorky about Dream Theater.
Yeah.
It's there's just I feel like Symphony X, they just have more balls.
Yeah.
There's something more just genuinely cool about what they're doing. And I think
Yeah.
Dream Theater is cool, but in a different way. Like they're very just openly geeky, and Symphony X is too. But they're like they have something for me undeniably cool about them.
Yeah, it's done in a less ironic manner.
Yeah,
Like you said, there's less humor in the music. There's no humor in the music. It's just totally balls to the wall. This get down with the fucking metal or get the
yeah,
fuck out. This is what's happening.
yeah, yeah. Sincerity. That's a and yeah. I watched something recently where they were talking about how sincerity is something that's being lost a lot these days because it's
Mm,
just people consider it cringe or whatever. Like you always have to hide behind layers of irony because you can't show your true feelings. And
yeah.
that, like, I think somebody was comparing the um, new Thor movies to something like Lord of the Rings. Um,
Mm,
like Lord of the
yeah.
Rings, they have their comic relief, but I think if I were to compare Symphony X to a movie, it would be something like Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
because this is just a lot of
Incredibly
sincerity.
sincere.
Yeah. Um, and
Man, I just read a couple pages of the first book. I've been reading The Lord of the Rings for the first time. And I read just a couple pages before bed yesterday, and I cried my eyes out. You need that sincerity sometimes.
oh yeah.
You need that. You just see it's the scene where they're leaving Lothlorien and they're saying goodbye. Do you know the story very well?
I mean, I've seen the movies a million times, but I
Y-
haven't read it. And I've heard
Okay,
there's a lot to the book that's not in the movie. I've been meaning to go read it for a while. My brother, he was, waxing lyrical about, man, I got to
so
read the
good.
books. It's a whole different thing.
It's so good. So I say,
And you got
I,
Tom Bombadil in there.
Tom Bombadil. Yeah.
Yeah,
But they just love each other so much, all these characters in these books. They just love each other so deeply. And the shit they say to each other. It's like Gimli, because the dwarves and the elves have this ancient epic rivalry and they hate each other. But then Gimli and Legolas become super just like just like the most epic bros of all time. And they kind of and Gimli is like super honored by the elves because he loves the elves so much, and the elves are like, oh my god, when he comes to visit them in Lorien, in Lothlorien, and he says to Galadriel, the the high elf Lady Galadriel, who's like who knows how many thousands of years old. Um, he's like, oh, she's dishing out, parting gifts to all the members of the party, and everybody gets something, and then she comes to Gimli and she's like, well, what would a dwarf have of me or something? And Gimli is like, well, I would not ask it, but you have told me to express my desire. I would have 3 locks of your golden hair. And she's all like, what? Why would you? All the elves are like, what the heck is wrong with this guy? And he's like, well, you are the fairest. And he just goes on this speech about how awesome the elves are and how much he loves the elves. And oh my God, I cried. I cried so much.
This is how you solve racism.
Yeah, yeah. And Galadriel is like, well, I mean, yeah, but what are you gonna do with 3 locks of my hair, man? And he's like, I will, well, assuming that I survive the perilous journey, I will take it home to my country, and I will set it into a crystal to be an heirloom of my family for years to come, so that we may remember the magnificence of the elves of Lothlorien. And
Oh,
it's just like, oh, goodness. You
yeah,
bastard! Oh, you're
that's cute.
supposed to hate them. Oh, so yeah.
Take that,
Anyway,
Hitler.
exactly. Well, yeah. Anyway, Sincerity. I also think those books are fantastic, and the story is fantastic for
When were they
uh
written?
19, who knows, 50s, 60s? I'm not sure.
I feel like
Um,
they may be even older.
Let's see. And he was in the First World War, wasn't he? J.R.R. Tolkien.
Yeah, I believe I heard something along those lines. And I think he actually wanted to. I think, wait, there was something like a lot of kind of um, uh, English literature, like ancient English myth was lost. And I think he wanted to make up for
Yeah,
like,
he wanted to create like a mythology for England, an origin story,
mhm.
like the Greeks and the Vikings and stuff.
Yeah, because it got lost for some reason, I think, maybe. I think
Yeah, or
perhaps.
there wasn't any, there's Arthur and there's Merlin and stuff, but it wasn't like a full blown origin story for how the world came to be,
Okay. Well, I had some story
I
in my head
think.
that like, you know, burned like some like a lot big
Really?
that may be completely wrong, but that
Okay.
was just the version I had in my head that like a lot of the old myths were lost and he wanted to fill the gap. Anyway.
Maybe, maybe. Well, 54 was the release of the first. In
Okay,
July
nice.
1954, and then November 54, October 55 was the 3 books.
Okay. No, let's take this further. You can ask
Mhm.
if Lord of the Rings was in any way inspired by Paradise Lost.
Was Lord of the Rings inspired by Lost? This is
I'm
what
just
happens
curious.
when you do a podcast at 11:30 p.m.
Yeah.
Start. So, while Tolkien's primary inspirations were Norse mythology, philology, and his own experiences in World War One, The Lord of the Rings shares thematic echoes with John Milton's Paradise Lost. Both authors, as devout Christians, explored themes of cosmic evil, angelic fall, and the corruption of power, particularly in parallels between Milton's Satan and Tolkien's Melkor Sauron. But yeah, I mean that's just really a because he was a Catholic, and it's about
Yeah. That may be
um,
vague there, maybe not a direct
mhm.
connection, but yeah,
Yeah, but
just curious because Paradise Lost, like it wasn't on my radar. I was aware of that it was a book or poem, but I never looked into it. So like, just in preparation for this episode, I was like, oh, okay, wow, and this is prog metal for you. You don't often get rock music directing people in, you know, getting involved in classic literature, and
mhm. Okay,
And yeah,
we're on Reddit now. What did
okay.
Tolkien think of Paradise Lost?
Uh-huh.
Um, Tolkien must have read it with his background and interest, but it's difficult for me to imagine quite what he must have thought. He wouldn't have jived with Milton's theology concerning the Trinity, and Milton's death is such a monstrous character that it is hard to imagine him as a gift to man. I don't know what's being talked about here.
Yeah.
Lucifer does seem to be a strong inspiration for Tolkien. As far as I'm aware, Milton was the one that popularized the idea that the devil was the brightest of the angels. And Tolkien is keen to remind us that we should always be wary of the pride that comes with being the highest of anyone. See Melkor, Feanor, Saruman, etc. Um, hmm,
Okay.
it's it's
Interesting. We're doing the
yeah.
deep dive.
We're on the deep dive. Okay, last one. It's been my opinion for decades that Feanor is the heroic Miltonic Satan of the Silmarillion. Melkor has elements both from the biblical Satan and uh, Utgarda Loki is from the Norse mythology. It says Utgard Loki, but I decided to be cool and say it like an Icelander because I am one. Yeah, Uthkara, yeah, parallels between Loki though, because Loki's more like a trickster god. He's a
Yeah. I mean, he is quite demonic, but he's not quite Satan.
no, no.
Not
It's
quite.
more like he's a he does some pretty nasty tricks sometimes though. You really
Yeah,
you're
Milton Satan, he's not tricking anybody. He's fully
he's
he
fully just like
he knows what he's up to. He's not hiding at all what he's up to, and he's just stopping at nothing to tear
yeah.
down the entire world.
It's a
Yeah,
different archetype.
very much so, very much so.
I like the Norse I like the Norse idea of Loki just being he's just kind of fucking with everybody for fun. He's just having fun, really.
Yeah.
That's what he's about. He's like all these crazy stories, like the one where he turns himself into a mare, like a female horse, and he has a baby with a. You remember that story?
That's a
It's
weird
a,
fetish. No, I've not
it's a
heard that one.
really weird story. Because this shapeshifter, he turns into all kinds of different beasts and animals and has babies as
Wow.
that animal, And in this particular instance, he turns
Wait,
himself into a female horse.
would that count as bestiality?
Yeah, exactly. Is that what the Vikings were into? Well, they did have a lot of sheep and horses. Who knows?
Yeah. Who knows?
Anyway, they make this deal. They make this deal with a guy to build a wall around Ausgard or Asgard, as it's stupidly known in the Marvel movies.
Oh,
Um,
that's a bad name.
yeah, what's your job description as an Asgardian, eh? What's what is that? So they make a deal with this guy. I don't remember if he's a troll or a Jotun or something. The Asgardians. Um, they they make a deal that he needs to build a wall around Asgard, like Trump raising a wall
Yeah.
around Asgard to defend to defend Asgard.
But they actually
Um,
made one, so
yeah, and and he needs to do it. They make like a deal. He needs to do it within a certain time span, like within a year or something. I don't remember exactly. And they're like, he's never gonna make it. And the only thing he wants in return, he just makes one demand. He wants, I think it was Thor's hammer. It was some kind of like ridiculous gift that the Asgardians would have never bestowed on him. So they were like, okay, well, if you complete it in a year, then we'll give you Thor's hammer. Fine. And they're like, he's never gonna do it in a year. He's never gonna make it. And he had this horse, he had this giant horse pulling a cart of stones of bricks to and from the building site, the construction site of the wall. And then he was just about to make it, and it was Loki, I think, who made this deal with this guy. And he was like, guys, don't worry about it. He's never going to do it in a year. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Thor's going to keep his hammer. We're all going to be happy. And we're going to have a wall. And then he's just about to make it. And the Asgardians are looking at Loki like, fuck, dude, you gotta do something about this. We're gonna lose Thor's hammer. Um, and so he turns himself into a female horse and seduces the dude's horse who's
Oh,
pulling the cart. And they run off and he's unable to complete the job. Um, and that was his solution to not have to lose Thor's hammer.
I mean, he's kind of like Satan, Milton Satan incarnating as the snake and seducing Eve.
Yeah, that's a little bit of parallel.
Yeah,
It's a little bit
yeah.
of parallel. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And from that union was born Sleipnir, um,
Ah,
the eight-legged horse,
right.
um, whose footprint, whose hoof print
Okay,
is.
we got material. We got to reach out to Symphony X because I think they were at some point a few years ago. I listened to Michael Romeo on a podcast and he was saying like, yeah, we had a bit of a hard time to find like another mythology. Like we didn't know what to pick as a theme for the next album. And I think we got it. I think we just, just
Get him on Norse mythology.
yeah, incarnating as female horses and
Oh yeah, perfect.
yes.
Creating weird shape-shifting, gender-neutral bestiality sex.
Yes.
That's what we want. That's it is. That's metal
If
as fuck.
yeah, if anything's metal, that's metal. To be fair, that is something I would make a song about.
Yeah. Oh yes, you would. Yes, you would. I know you
I
would.
would not hesitate to explore those themes.
Oh no.
But
Oh
yeah.
no.
Yeah, they were on some good stuff, those Icelanders back in the day. Like
Yeah, or those Germanic tribes or whatever that, came up with those stories originally. I don't know what it
right,
was. It was it's really old mythology. Would have
right,
come from like Scandinavia or even further south before they emigrated to Scandinavia. I'm not sure how it worked exactly.
right.
Um,
I mean, yeah, this is a tangent, but I've thought about this a lot. And you know, at some point I was driving in Iceland and I was looking out the window and I was watching the mountains and I was like, some of them look like trolls and stuff. And it got me thinking like, okay, like we've grown up in this kind of scientific world that we've kind of conditioned our minds to um, organize everything according to that. Like that's a mountain. It's made of stone. It's dead matter. It's blah blah blah. These are trees. Those are that's biological matter. It's like it's photosynthesizes. The sun is plasma. Blah blah blah. All this stuff.
mhm,
That's how we categorize the world. But in those days, you didn't have that. Your mind wasn't formed in this way. So in the sense, your mind was so much more fluid.
mm,
So I kind of think like it's almost like you're like on a psychedelic trip
mm,
a lot of the time because it's like you've not conditioned your mind as rigidly as modern people have.
mhm,
So reality is so much more alive. So you can actually like look at a mountain in a certain state and start to think that, those are actually trolls living in the mountain.
mhm. Yeah, you don't
I
have
think a
the
lot of that kind of
scientific definitions for everything. Kind
yeah, I
of
think a lot of that
pit.
magical thinking kind of comes out. If you look at that mythology,
Mhm.
that time is like it's so creative. It's almost like children.
Yeah, but Richard
If you go
Dawkins would call it stupid as fuck.
Yeah, right. Yeah, yeah. He would. Uh, but yeah, you look at children and you see how like a lot of that kind of magical thinking and creativity kind of gets robbed through years of formal education.
Mhm.
Um, Everybody's kind of conditioned to fit into a certain mold, and so we can all kind of function in the same consensus reality.
Yeah,
But yeah, a little side tangent, but I think it's
we all
yeah,
must be conditioned for the Matrix.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, for a purpose, it makes sense that we know how to function within the structure we built, but it's like sometimes I wonder like how magical would reality be if I did not receive any of this education about what anything is.
Hmm.
Just looking at a tree and just like what the hell is this? And then
Yeah,
people make up all these crazy stories that, are reflected in these mythologies. So yeah.
yeah. Almost
Hey.
like taking the other pill in the Matrix. We're like the guy who betrayed them in the Matrix. You know, it was like, "Can I just go back into the Matrix, please?
Oh yeah, right.
This
Exactly.
sucks."
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
Depending which, like, you could define either end of the spectrum as the Matrix, I suppose. It's
Yeah,
like,
it's true. You can have different matrices. That
Matrix
can be the
cities.
matrix of
Dude, I was speaking of tangents, I was watching The Matrix with my girlfriend just the day before yesterday, and it is fucking mind-bogglingly accurate. It's wild. Like the bars that they drop in those movies is like it's insane. It's been a while since I watched it for the last time, and I was just like
Oh yeah,
mind
same
blown
here.
all over again. Just god
I haven't
damn.
seen it since I was a kid. And we
Dude, you
talked about
just
this in our last episode, like, watching a movie a couple of years apart and just understanding it in a totally different way.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
And it's such a revelation to watch it with somebody who's like on the spiritual path as well, like my girlfriend is.
yeah.
And just being able to have those like locking eyes moments when you're like, when Morpheus drops a bar and you're like, oh, that's so true. Are you serious? Like, oh my God. And then it ends the roll credits, and Rage Against the Fucking Machine plays. And it's like, oh, this is such a statement. Oh my God.
But
Yeah.
was it not written by, I may be
The,
completely wrong, but was it not written by a trans person and kind of very informed by her experience? Um,
it was written by the Wachowskis,
okay.
who used to be brothers but are now sisters.
Okay. Yeah, I heard somewhere that was kind of
Uh,
informed by kind of the trans experience, which is very ironic because you see the term matrix kind of being appropriated by the Andrew Tates of the world, you know,
uh,
which is
oh yeah, their names, they're Lana Wachowski, formerly Larry Wachowski, and Lily Wachowski, formerly Andy Wachowski. That is
okay.
fair.
Yeah.
Imagine that, brothers becoming sisters. That is,
Yeah.
I don't, that must be rare. Like, that's
Oh
wild.
yeah. Yeah, probably.
Crazy.
Yeah. I mean, it's just
But
being trans is quite rare, and I think it's so stupid that
yeah,
like people are just making trans people the center of all their fucking political arguments. Just delete me,
yeah.
man. I don't want to be your fucking center of your political arguments. It's like what, less than 1% of the
There's like
population?
two of them there. Just leave
Yeah,
them alone.
right. It's just like, yeah, it's crazy. It's just so
That's
threatening for people that have like a very fixed idea of categories. It's just so
Yeah, oh geez.
threatening.
I loved Leo Gura's take on that. Is gender a social construct?
Oh, did you watch the video on
Yeah.
it? Oh,
That
it's a
one
fuck. I've done
that
it
was a
like three
banger.
times, and I'm starting to get it's a deep one because it's not a simple topic.
Yeah, yeah, totally. But
We, we,
I only listened to it once though.
yeah. It's a great
Um
one though. Yeah,
yeah,
because
I
you
thought it
don't
was
really heal like deep, genuine philosophical deep dives into this topic. You just hear very charged political
yeah,
commentary back and
you
forth.
just hear people spouting their emotions at each other about this really.
Yeah,
Um
yeah,
yeah. I thought it was cool to hear from somebody like you said, somebody actually who actually take this matter seriously and goes to the root of it
yeah,
because it definitely. 'Cause, I mean, like it's so easy to just go, no, you either have a penis or a vagina,
yeah.
and that means, but that like it's just not it's not just the biological factor. It's the whole idea of what makes a good man and what makes a good woman, and that is very much a social construct.
Very,
Um,
yeah.
and that was yeah, it was
And
cool to get that little
yeah, because
clarification.
essentially his claim is that categories are not an inherent property. This is what we're talking about before. And the categories, they're not inherent property of the universe doesn't come with categories
With
properly. It's
categories,
just
yeah.
what we make up and project onto the world.
Yeah.
Um, so
God was
there's
like, this is
nothing.
boring without categories. Let me.
Yeah, yeah. Let me just define things a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's nothing absolute about any category. So just whatever floats your boat. You know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But
I yeah.
I did
What are you
think it
gonna
was
say?
interesting that he said, he gender the male and female gender identities or categories have been so like tried and tested. They've existed for such a long time
Yeah,
that they're just
because
kind of ready made for you and you just pick one and you're
yeah, and
good to go. And then
it's a useful concept, and it works for most people. But then you
mhm.
have the edge cases where the categories are not complex enough.
Yeah, because I mean, everybody, no, like nobody ticks all the boxes of what a woman is and what a man
Hmm.
is, the
Yeah,
category. We just kind of tick most of them, and therefore we go, okay, it must be that, because we're close enough, whatever.
hmm,
Um, but then there's the outliers who just kind of don't really tick any of the boxes in either category, and they're like, what the heck am I supposed to do with myself then?
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. I mean,
interesting.
categories, they're just like it's. I look at it like genre with music. It's like it's a guideline. You can use it, but like don't need to be defined by that thing. I'm an electronic musician, but I'm free. I'm
Mhm.
genre fluid. I use this
But
term.
you need to market yourself,
Yeah, and
Hughes.
I've run into this problem, and I could have had much. I've sacrificed probably millions of listens because like
Yeah.
I was starting to reach a little bit of momentum, making a certain kind of electronic music early on before I made albums, and I could have just gone full steam ahead into that, but I was like, no, I want to make something. I want to consistently do something different and create something progressive, and then I didn't ride that wave. Um, and I don't regret a thing because I made the music I wanted to do.
Mm.
Even though and over time now I've gathered people that uh, really enjoy that specific unique thing I've carved out
Hmm.
that may not have happened if I would have just jumped on that bandwagon.
Do you
You know
think
what I
Symphony X has gone that path to bring us back?
mean? To bring it's so funny. We start with the album and there's
It's
a
especially
podcast that
bad at midnight.
yeah, it's one of my favorite podcasts is by Chris Ryan. It's called Tangentially Speaking. 'Cause-
Mm.
and I think usually a lot of my favorite conversations happen as tangents. Um, so because it's like I think it's kind of similar to um, me being an improvisational player on guitar.
Mm.
It's kind of similar. I enjoy more the less predefined um, structures to follow. But
Yeah.
yeah, bringing it back to Symphony X, I think pretty much anyone who's doing, especially at this time, you're like doing progressive metal in the 90s, like that's that's not where you go. That's not where the majority of the money's at.
Hmm.
But and I think in their case, because they were doing something unique, um, they have like devoted fans. Just
Mm.
um, people that
Big
just
fish in the small pond.
yeah, very much so, very much so. It's whenever you carve out like a very unique thing, then it's uh it's different from when you're just doing pop music. But but I guess pop artists have devoted fans as well. If you look at Taylor Swift,
Yeah.
talking
But
about.
well, she did start out as a country artist.
Hmm.
She started out in a bit more of a niche, and then once she exploded in that niche, she went broader.
Right. Yeah.
Um, so that's another strat. That's one you could have gone for as well if you would have gone
Perhaps
harder into
I've
that
been
direction.
always I've always been almost to my own detriment, committed to my own musical integrity above all else. And
Hmm.
I think I
I love that about you.
yeah, I enjoy that as well because I could have made a lot more money, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. Is like, you know, the music is just always number one, and and exploring different things.
Speaking of exploring different things, I just realized your name today is IC Wiener. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah. Did you know the reference?
no.
No, you don't? Okay. Well, a lot of people, the
Uh,
audience may know the. Oh,
I
he's gonna
see.
Google.
I see. Wiener. What the heck?
I
That.
was waiting
Wait.
for you to notice that one.
I see. Wiener. What are we talking about here? What? Oh, it's from Futurama. Ah.
Watching it now.
Mm.
Have you
Whoa,
seen Future?
Nibbler used this name to entice Fry to enter the
Yeah, it's
cryogenic.
it's when he he gets this false pizza delivery and he opens the little paper thingy and it says icy wiener and it's like, oh crud, I got.
Oh, crud.
Yeah.
Ah, crud. I
I've
can't.
never heard this except for exactly in this context. Uh,
We see icy wiener.
yeah. Yeah, but anyway, I'm curious, are there any other songs that stood out to you on the
Mm,
album?
we see the walls of Babylon.
I was thinking about that one too, because it's kind of low key my favorite. I think Serpent's Kiss is my favorite.
Hmm.
Um, and Domination. But Walls of Babylon, I think it's like it may be my favorite also. Just it's one of the more progressive ones on the album, and it just has this fucking epic
It's
choir.
really heavy.
Yeah, but it's got this just
I'm just gonna.
powerful.
I'm listening to it right now.
Yeah, it's I'm noticing that, when we're this tired on the pod, it's like we're just stoned out of our minds.
Who says we're not?
Yeah. I mean, somebody said somewhere that sleep deprivation is just a free drug, man.
Hmm. It's just a free ride. The,
Yeah.
it's a much less enjoyable free ride.
Yeah. I mean, it can be enjoyable sometimes, and I think I've used it at times as creative fuel.
Yeah.
Um, producing music, I've produced some of my best stuff like between 3 a.m. and like 8, 9 a.m.
Yeah, you're. I haven't gone that deep.
Yeah, that's like when I was making the song Black Hole of Eternal Bliss, which is kind of inspired by Symphony X because they didn't do an epic on this album, but they do these kind of 20-minute plus epics. These
Hmm.
just journeys that go through, it just really feels like you're watching a movie. Um, and on that song, like it came at a big cost to my health because I was just waking in the nights, just producing like it took me 2 years to make, and it's like I don't know if you've seen, not to compare myself to Mozart, but have you seen the film Amadeus?
I've seen some scenes from it. Yes.
Have you seen Mozart? I think he's writing his Requiem, or
Hmm.
he's is it Requiem? I think so. Where he's like he's dying
Hmm.
and he's like possessed by this music, and he's just almost like he's possessed by a demon. Like the music has got a hold of him, and it's like it's all that occupies his mind. It's almost like a kind of a manic state.
Yeah, Mozart composed part of the Requiem in Vienna in 1791, but it was unfinished at his death on 5th of December, on the 5th of December the same year. The
Yeah,
completed version was delivered to Count Franz von Walsegg, who had commissioned the piece for a Requiem service on February 14th, 1792.
yeah, yeah. That I related a lot to kind of the state that's depicted in that film because when I was making that track, I was possessed by the song. It was like, I couldn't sleep. I couldn't go to the bathroom. Would barely eat. I would just work on this music because when I would try to go to sleep, I would have ideas in my head, and they were just coming and coming and coming, and like, it is a kind of manic state. I've had
Yeah,
this happen a couple of times, but never to this degree. And I do think it was my best track that came out of that, but it's not a healthy way to.
it's a
It's not a sustainable way
this
to.
is the mad artist paradigm right here.
Very much so, very much so. And I don't think it's necessary, but I don't think I would have made that track if it weren't for just tapping into whatever that was. Um,
Mm.
Something wanted to be born through me, and I needed to kind of because it's like when you go a bit insane, you just unlock something.
Yeah, you gotta be little, traditionally speaking, insane to make art. Of
Yeah,
course, doesn't
I
fit
think you
into
can
the
go more
norms
than
of
a little bit
society.
insane sometimes.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah.
recommending it, but it's like there has been. I mean, you can look at art by. Don't know who the artist was. I don't know. You've seen the pictures of like he painted a cat. I don't know if he was painting his cat or whatever, but he got schizophrenia, and like, um, you can probably Google like schizophrenia cat painting if you want to see what it looks like. But it's this guy. I think before he painted, um, he painted it before the schizophrenia started or whatever, and then like once it hit properly, then you can see that the cat painting looks like just straight from a DMT trip,
Yeah.
which like when you go beyond sanity, you can start to open some doors that are traditionally not. I mean, I guess it's kind of similar to what we're talking about, like because you um, condition your mind in a certain way, growing up
Hmm.
and categorizing the world and confining yourself. And for some people, those boundaries just involuntarily break down.
Yeah.
So I think that's what we would call insanity. Um, and then some people voluntarily break them down by taking psychedelics or whatever.
Hmm.
Um, but it's kind of a similar thing happening.
Yeah. Just don't go insane, kids.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know. It's or don't go too sane either. There's
yeah. Also, yeah. Yeah, I mean, depends on your
insanity is.
interpretation of insanity, I
Yeah,
think.
that's the thing. Like because you can have like the human conception of sanity. I think there's a lot of stuff that's actually very sane that's looked at as insane.
Yeah, definitely.
And I think what a lot of society uh, looks at looks at as sane is insane. So
Hmm.
that we're just supposed to go to these chambers for 10 hours a day, clocking away so we can buy another car,
Hmm.
whatever. Like it's not considered insane, but I think that's insane.
That's insane. Yeah, totally insane.
And I think that there's a lot more sane to be writhing around on the grass naked.
Hmm. Oh yeah.
Covering yourself with mud, you know?
Oh, yeah, every once in a while, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're doing it all the time, it's probably
Yeah, those office workers do them good.
yeah. Yeah. And then
Okay.
some people that are just riding around in the metal all the time, they could do with a few office hours, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. Okay, they need to get a little structure in their lives.
Yeah.
Goddamn hippies. Get them. Useless goddamn hippies. Get them in the
Yeah.
office. Get a job. What are you? Okay, well, anyway, kids, get a job. I'm I'm signing off. I
Yeah.
really, really gotta go to sleep.
Yeah, sleep.
Past midnight now. This
It's
has been
better.
fun.
Yeah, we're on the same hour.
Yeah,
For
for the
yeah,
first
what
time in a
happened?
while, almost never happens. I'm in my
Yeah.
hometown of Akureyri. Helgi is in Reykjavik. We're both in Iceland right now.
Yeah.
Uh, might do another episode in person next
Yeah.
Sunday.
I also want to talk a little bit about the travels because I was traveling east and you were traveling north
Oh,
and
yeah.
a lot of adventures happening.
Were you traveling east? What?
Yeah, didn't you know?
You were in the East Fjords.
Yes, I was. I was meeting up with Ellie Grill, the
Ah,
famous
right.
Icelandic rapper.
Right. Yeah, you sent me the track you were working on. I didn't
Yeah.
put two and two together that you must have been in the East then.
Yeah, he was like,
Uh,
"Well, I'm in Eskifjörður, it's and I was like, "Well, it's pretty much one of the only things left of the album. I'll rent a car and I'll drive over there and I'll get the track, God damn it."
heck yeah.
And I went, it took me 12 hours to get almost all the way.
It's a long way. Yeah.
And
Wait, did you go the south or the north coast then?
south.
Okay, I see.
And the weather was not too friendly by the end. It was slippery and snowy, and I had to
Oh
drive
yeah,
like 30 kilometers per hour.
it's been wild recently. Yeah,
It was crazy, but a lot of fun. So, yeah, look out for that on the next time. Look at some
yeah.
Icelandic rap for the first time. My
Let's talk about.
favorite Icelandic rapper. He's an absolute legend.
It
He's a
sounds
little bit of a household name among some people. He's been collaborating with Icelandic legends such as Páll Óskar and Leonsi.
Outlaws got really
Uh,
interesting. And Leon Say, the one and only.
yes.
Crazy shit.
So, he's a name. People know him on the streets.
Mm,
So,
Ali Grill.
yeah.
Yeah, let's talk about your travels. Let's talk about all kinds of other exciting stuff next time on the
Next
Hewkii and
time.
Flammeus show. Thanks for tuning in,
Indeed.
everybody.
Yeah.
We'll catch you then.
Well, just before you leave, people, we've got the outro song for you, and it's my song Solar Punk Sunset.
And the sun does set at the end of the song.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And yeah, solar punk. I don't know if you're familiar with that term.
Yeah, what's the word? Like steampunk, right? But except solar punk. Isn't that the idea?
I mean,
Like,
it's kind of like, yeah, it is kind of a thematic. I don't know how to describe it. Like it's a theme. Like solar punk is a theme, but it's kind of, as I understand it, it's like humanity with technology um, learning to live in harmony with nature. So if you like look at solar punk pictures, it's like, these kind of advanced technological societies, but they're like integrated into the earth. A lot of solar panels and
mm,
all that stuff.
nice.
So I don't know why this song evoked for me kind of that vibe, but it gave me that vibe. Um, and yeah, I don't know. There was not a lot of thought, deep thought that went into the title. Just kind of went with the feeling,
Hmm.
I think it fits.
I love the song, man. I think it's so like it's very repetitive, really. Like it's just one musical idea the whole time, over and over, but it's the production is what keeps it fresh.
Yeah, like melody wise and chord progression wise, it's just one cycle, but it's constantly shifting. In terms
Yeah,
of
and it doesn't. I didn't feel at any point like I was getting tired of it because there was always something new happening. It's very cool.
yeah, yeah. It's with electronic music, it's often like that, and you often find songs that don't really even have any melodic content. Will just be one note, but a lot of different shifting basses. So um, yeah, it's quite common.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, the name of the game is to repeat but keep it fresh. The same, but different.
Yeah, exactly.
The
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, this song is kind of a 90s style drum and bass. Um, maybe jungle. I don't know if you would classify this as jungle, as maybe slightly different, but it's like in that territory. Um, it's pretty fast. I don't know if it's 170 BPM something. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I started this one in a summer house with my family, and I was kind of bored, and I hadn't made music in a while, so I was like, well, I'm just gonna start something, and started to make this drum and bass track, and then kind of, it wasn't that great at that time, so I was like, well, yeah, maybe this is not gonna happen. And then a few months later, when I was working on this album that's coming out soon, I listened to this one back, and I was like, oh wait, no, I just have to like cut some shit out and rearrange this thing because it has a lot of potential. So
Mm.
went in there and just reconstructed the whole thing, and I think it sounds great now. A lot of interesting sound design ideas with basses and filters. Probably one of my favorite moments in the track is like the last drop where it hits with this kind of filtered synth that kind of has this stereo effect. I think I'm using a reverb filter in Serum. Serum is this synthesizer where you can design your own sounds. So I was using a reverb filter. And
A reverb filter.
yeah,
How does that work?
I don't know exactly, but I guess it's like the filter recreates the harmonic content of a reverb and then applies it onto the sound. So it's not like you're getting reverb on the sound, but you're getting kind of the harmonics of a reverb filtered
Mm.
through. So something along those lines. I may be butchering it, but it's like it looks like, if you look at how the filter looks, it's like capturing the reverb frequencies.
Mm. That,
So
yeah.
very interesting. Um,
Somebody who knows more about that than we do.
Yeah, I
In
mean,
the
it
comments,
goes
please.
quite deep into sound design, but like there's levels to it.
Hmm.
There are people that go even nerdier than me with
If we
I
got
know how to
any,
use it, but I may not know like all the technical details of how it
if
works.
you know how it works, please leave a comment
Yeah,
on how stupid we are.
yeah. Let me know how far off I am.
Just kidding. Just kidding.
But
Be nice.
no, be evil. Yeah, and it's doing like these interesting rhythmic ideas. It's like you know, the filter is moving in one frequency, and then it's I don't even remember how. Wait, let me think. How did I do this? Yeah, there's like two filters moving at different speeds or something. Uh,
Mm.
so it's yeah, creating a very very interesting effect.
Yeah. You lost me at reverb filter, or I'm
Yeah,
like yeah.
yeah. For
But
sure.
it sounds cool. It sounds really cool.
Yeah, I dig the song. So it is the latest single I've dropped, and it is gonna be on my next album. So it's kind of
Heck yeah.
teaser tracks.
Got a collab song on that album as well. The intro
Yeah,
jingle of the show. We've been teasing that for a while as well.
yeah. I'm working on getting it mastered. So it's all very close. It's just a big ass album, so it's gonna be coming soon.
It's very, very big. Very big.
Yeah,
Well, yeah, do enjoy this little sneak peek of the album, Solar Punk
yeah,
Sunset. I'll catch you on the next one.